यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहितप्रज्ञानघनप्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोऽहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ॐ प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। My best wishes and paripurna ashirvadams to may the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, wealth, health and eternal happiness with paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and your entire family members and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, 4th shloka of 5th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sankhya Yogau Prathak Balaha Pravadanti na Panditaha Ekamapyasthita Samyak Ubhayor Vindate Phalam. In the last session, we saw Bhagavad Gita introduces two kinds of sadhanas, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And also, Bhagavad Gita introduces two kinds of lifestyle which are called Nishtha. That is Sannyasa Ashrama Nishtha, Grihastha Ashrama Nishtha. These both Nishthas were introduced in the 3rd chapter. Lokesmin Vividha Nishtham Pura Prokta Mayanagha Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Lokesmin Vividha Nishtha Pura Prokta Mayanagha. That's what the shloka, in which he very clearly said there are two kinds of lifestyle, nisthas, two kinds of means for moksha. And you cannot ask among these two kinds of means which is the best for moksha, because Karma Yoga is for the beginners. Once he becomes mature enough in the karmas, then he can pursue Jnana Yoga. Then Jnana Yoga will lead to moksha, no question at all. But Arjuna, because he was a little bit confused, so that he had the question, which is the best, which is the best? Always which is the best? So sannyasa life is the best or grihastha life is the best? But Krishna gives a solid answer, both are equal. Sannyasa ashrama and grihastha ashrama, both are equal. Then why this chapter is named as a karma sannyasa? The motto is inner sannyasa, and this inner sannyasa, when you become matured in that, when you become complete in that, outside sannyasa will take place. But the lifestyle which is followed sannyasa, it should lead for both sannyasa. Now grihastha ashrama, it has got its own methodology, its own system, its own sadhanas, and sannyasa ashrama also it has got its own methodology, sadhanas. Both they differ, both have plus point and minus point. A grihastha who can have family, who can also have bank balance, who can also have insurance, and who can also have the reputation in the society. But sannyasi who cannot or need not to have bank balance, who need not to have insurance, and who is not depending on the society, who doesn't have the family, for him the world is nothing but family. For him the Ishvara is the person who is relative. Okay, therefore this sannyasa, there are two kinds of sannyasa: Vidvat sannyasa, Vividisha sannyasa. Vidvat sannyasa means the after learning complete knowledge, knowledge from Vedas, when he observed everything, after that he gets the sannyasa, the lifestyle of sannyasa being adapted by that person, known as Vidvat sannyasi. The sannyasa with knowledge. But sannyasa for the knowledge. A person, by the nature he is not able to pursue the education, means the knowledge of Vedas. For him, the family becomes, the responsibility becomes a trouble. Again, not because of irresponsible nature. Because he was so responsible with all the duties, after performing the duty, he wants to get away from. But in order to pursue the knowledge, not mere sannyasa. Mere sannyasa is not accepted at all. Because I give up the world, I hang in between, not going for spiritual progress, not going for materialistic progress, and in between hanging. So never ever mere sannyasa is accepted in our dharma. So either you have to take sannyasa to pursue knowledge, or you have to pursue the knowledge, then you can take the sannyasa. That is the rules. Not hanging in between. After giving up everything, not going for the spiritual progress is dangerous for all, not only to him. So dukkham aptum ayogataha, he is going to say that. When you are not enough mature to give up the things, you should not make it. So that's what, sannyasa life, little bit dangerous. Dangerous means it's risky. Risky means you have to be mature enough. Grihastha so you have the support, you have the family, you have the society, you have the duty. So all duty, family, society, it will make you to go with the proper alignment. Therefore, between these two, sannyasa lifestyle and grihastha lifestyle, both have plus and minus. Therefore, both are equal. Now, this Arjuna is attracted with the sannyasa lifestyle where there is no responsibility involved, but he doesn't know the risky factors. Therefore, when he asked, Bhagavan said, the karma yoga vishishyate, the karma yoga is prized, that is the best, because he prescribes for most of the people, this karma yoga is the best. Karma yoga means grihastha is the best. And also he clarifies the people who are immatured, balaha, they alone say the sannyasa is the best. And some of them say that grihastha is the best. And they also each other criticize. Sannyasa is criticized by certain group of people, and grihastha ashrama is criticized by certain group of sannyasa people. So both are immatured, because whether you take sannyasa ashrama or grihastha ashrama, you have to follow karma yoga, you have to follow jnana yoga, then you can reach the moksha. Therefore, ekam apyasthita samyak ubhayoho phalam vindate. You can adapt one nishtha lifestyle, you can gain the fruit. That's what, in the both, you can select any one of them, you will gain the fruit. There is no doubt in it. The next sloka, yat sankhyai prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati sa pashyati. The sthanam means the goal, the achievement which is attained by Sankhya. Sankhya people means the sannyasi people. The sannyasi people also should follow karma yoga and jnana yoga. And by this grihastha people called karma yogis, they also follow karma yoga and jnana yoga. Both will attain the moksha, which is the same. Therefore, ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati pashyati. So one who has accepted this fact, that person alone, he is endowed with clarity. That's all. In the next verse, he introduces the risky factor of picking the sannyasa life. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptuma yogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena dhigacchati. So if you are confused, whether should I select sannyasa life or should I select a grihastha life, then better you select grihastha life. If people are coming to me, if they ask, Swamiji, should I go for marriage or should I come as a brahmachari? And I said, better to get married. If there is a dilemma in your mind, you have to get married, no other choice. Because marriage is the glorified system in our dharma. Still, after centuries, after a millennium, the marriage system, still it is followed in India. And we are lacking of that awareness of that details. Details means the details of marriage. So still we have the rituals. Those rituals are very meaningful, but we have to come to know through a proper person. If you have the proper person, one can give the meaning of the rituals which is going and which is being followed in the marriage ceremony. You will come to know the Sreshta Thara, and you will come to know glory of the marriage ceremony. And not only that, being a grihastha, he becomes author for the society. He alone nourishes vanaprastha, brahmachari, sannyasi. He should give the food and nourishment to all these three cadre of the people. It means what? It's a very great responsible the lifestyle. And sannyasi also, he has got his own responsibility. He should have the tapas. He should maintain his sankalpa. Even, sitting in the cave, people think for the welfare of the humanity. All this sannyasi and who are yogis too, they always think for the welfare of humanity. That is the both lifestyle. So the lifestyle which is suitable for you can be decided only by your guru, not by you. If you are immature, you cannot judge. Therefore, better let them judge. So in our ashrams, gurus, they ask us to study first. So after the study, at least 5 years of study of Prasthanatraya, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra. After that also, all the Shad Dharmas, the Yoga, Sankhya, Nyaya, the Mimamsa. So Uttara Mimamsa is the Vedanta. After undergoing all the studies, you can make the decision. Still, if you are confused, sometimes I have seen, so a person who came with the conclusion, I won't get married, I would take sannyasa. So my guru used to suggest him, go and get married. And some of the people who wants to get married, my guru said that no, you take sannyasa. Because those people know, so what the nature, what the inner maturity you have, they select according to that. So this is a risky way. Once you go, there is no reverse method. That's what you have to realize. So being grahastha, you can become sannyasi. After going vanaprastha, you can become sannyasi. But after taking sannyasa, there is no reverse. You cannot come back. If anybody comes back, this Purana, this Bhagavata Purana condemns like anything. That person it uses a very strong word for that. That person is equal to a eater who has vomited his own food. So he eats that food. It's it's a big word. It's a strong expression from this Bhagavata. Therefore, the sannyasa lifestyle is kept away from Arjuna. Being Kshatriya, being immature, he has to pursue. Then yoga yukto munir brahma nachiredadi gacchati. And also he says yoga yuktaha munihi brahma nachirena adigacchati. So he continues. So When you are matured enough, definitely you will achieve the things. Whether you are sannyasa or grihasthashrama, doesn't matter. You will gain. That's what is given from 7th verse. Up to the 6th verse, he just gave the clarity which nishtha to be adopted by Arjuna, by most of the people, is grihasthashrama lifestyle is the preferable for him for all people. And exception, there are exceptions. Those people, so because of their karma phala, they have taken sannyasa, they are given sannyasa, they have found the lifestyle which is suitable for sannyasa. But here the teaching was to Arjuna, he was suggested the grihasthashrama. Now the topic is completed. Now he is bringing the new topic. The new topic is sadhana. Whether you are sannyasi or grahastha, you have to follow this sadhana. Let us read it. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyah sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. Yoga yuktaha. The person, the seer means a seeker, has to be endowed with yoga. Yoga means what? Which was introduced in the 2nd chapter. Yogasthah kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So that yoga, buddhi yoga, karma yoga, that yoga which also endows with yajna bhavana, which we saw in the 3rd chapter, and also which is involved with karmani akarma darshanam, the perception, clear vision. Then what? He will gain chitta shuddhi. So once you go under karma yoga, you will get chitta shuddhi, means the purity of the mind. That's what vishuddhatma. Yoga yuktaha means yogena yuktaha vishuddhatma bhavati. He becomes purified minded. So when your mind is purified, you can have the control over your sense organs and organs of action. Vijitatma and jitendriyaha. You can become Lord, or you can become mastery over your sense organs, your jnanendriya and karmendriya. And also you can feel, identify yourself one with the world. So he has bringing both paths, means yajna bhavana, karma yoga, and akarmani akarma darshanam, that is jnana yoga. Karma yoga and jnana yoga together, it makes persons very eligible for moksha. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma, one who can identify all the creature in him, and also one who can see himself in all the creatures. There is no dvaita, only advaita. That's what he says. Kurvannapi na lipyate. He may do whatever he want. He may, whatever means what to be done as a dharma, he won't be affected. He won't get karma phala. He won't be pasted with karma phala. Kurvannapi na lipyate. Next words. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit pashyan shrunvan sprushan jagran ashnan gachan swapan swasan pralapan visrujan grunhan unmishan nimishannapi indriyani indriyartheshu vartanta iti dharayan brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tektva karoti yah lipyate na sa papena padma patramibambhasa. So these 3 verses are the prayojana of karma yoga and jnana yoga. And this, when you become matured in karma yoga and jnana yoga, your all activities which are going outside, but you will keep yourself as akarta, as abhokta. So it is said as a story. you know. So long back, one rishi was doing tapas on the bank of the river. The morning he started doing tapas, till evening he was doing tapas. Some of the ladies, you know, who were from that same village, they every day morning they used to go to the next village to sell their butter and milk, etc. They go in the morning and they come back in the evening. So on the particular day when they wanted to cross the river, so the flood has been overflowed, they were not able to walk. Then they were sitting and waiting for that, and because of the heavy rain, the flood has become more than the normal level. Therefore, they were not able to walk. And they went to that rishi and they requested that rishi, can you do something? So anything can be done, please get it done for us. Then he said, so if you give half of the things what you are carrying, okay, then they accept, okay, chalo, because have to go, otherwise we cannot sell the things. They gave butter, they gave milk, and they gave all whatever the dishes they had off of it. After eating everything, he started saying that, oh river, if it is true that I have observed Upavasa today, please give the path. But these people were wondering what he is talking about. He has eaten all the things we have brought, so maximum amount that he has gone taken, and he has given the burb also. Now he is talking like this. But amazingly, river gave the path. Then they were with the doubtful and they were stunned, they were confused what to be done. Then he shouted, go, very quickly, go. Then they went that side, and with the whole day confusion, they were selling the materials, and when they came back, it was the normal level of the water, they could reach back. And also they asked, they requested, please, let us know, let us understand what happened in the morning. You ate everything, but you said in different way, and we were amazed. The whole day we experienced the confusion. Please give us the clarity. Then that Jnani said, my mind and body sense complex, they are endowed with karma. Okay, when you gave the food is eaten by my ego. Okay, that it's absorbed by my system. So I was the witness. Okay, that witness I is nothing but me. So that I am endowed with, when I said the word, I meant that I is nothing but me. Okay, this is the story, but this story is not practical, but you can realize when you identify yourself with that witness, you become akarta abhokta. That is what explained here. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit. A tattvavit knower of the truth, he remains with that real I which is not endowed with the I which is known as ahankara, the I which is known as karta and bhokta. That's what, he may do all the physical, mental work, pashyan, shrunvan, sprishan, jigran, all the things he can see, and he can hear, and he can feel the touching sense, and he can also smell the things, you can also eat the things, and he can go somewhere and come back somewhere, and also he will do all the mental works. He is not affected by thou. He is not affected by all those actions. He may talk, he may blink his eyes, and he can take something, and he can give up something, and all the indriyas are engaged with all the actions, because eyes are always seeing or blinking, ears are always listening, and hands are always taking something, giving up something, the legs are endowed with walking, going and coming. So all the actions by your karmendriya and jnanendriya let them take or let them engaged with these actions, I am not the doer. I am just as a witness. That's what my Swarupa is. Indriyartheshu indriyani indriyartheshu vartante iti dharayan. All of those indriyas and mind and buddhi, they have engaged with their own purpose, their own vishayas object, but I am not alive with them. So I identify myself in the Brahman. Brahmani adaya sangam taktva karotiyaha. So one who is endowed with the Swarupa, the real nature, so whatever he does, he means his body, mind and sense complex, it does with that, but he is not having attachment towards them. He is like a lotus in the mud or water. He is not pested with any karma phalas. That's what explained by these 3 verses. And these 3 verses are very famous words of Bhagavad Gita. And difficult to realize also, you should know the core. We have to identify with ourself. The self means Supreme Self, which is all pervasive. You have to remember from the 2nd chapter. In the 2nd chapter, he spent 15 verses for this. From 11th onwards up to the 25th verse, he explained what is Brahman, what is Atma. Najayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva na bhavita na bhuyah ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha nahanyate hanyamane sharire. The I which is unborn, najayate na mriyate, therefore it never experiences the death. It never grows, never decays, and all modifications less, free from all the modifications, and which is all pervasive, and which cannot be destroyed by the weapons, or which cannot be destroyed by the 5 elemental things. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kledayantyapah, nashoshayati marutaha, achedyo yamadahyoyam akledyo shoshya evacha. So all these verses, it introduced and well established, explained by Bhagavan Krishna long back. I have to identify with that supreme consciousness. When I identify with them, let the indriyas, let the mind be engaged with all the karmas. I have to consider all the karma should be governed by dharma. That is the one attention to be given. Otherwise, I am akarta alone. So it's a highly supreme knowledge when you are bringing in the Vyavahara. So you are in the Vyavahara life, you are living with all the people who are not aware about Brahman, but you are living with them, but your inner core is established in the Brahman. Brahmaniya adaya, establishing yourself in the Brahman means what? Identifying yourself properly with that real self, which is the cause of the universe, where creations are taking place, where dissolution also taking place. That is the meaning of these words. We will continue from the next episode tomorrow. Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.